Hi, I'm Jesse.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we are going to be playing a game.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, so this is a game that I've been playing for...
Forever.
5 years, I believe.
No, longer than that.
I got this game in alpha, so I got it back when it was...
I feel like you've been playing it for longer.
I've been playing it since I was a freshman in college.
What's this game
for a really long time. So this is called Kerbal Space Program, and the reason that we're playing this game is because... Well, first of all, space, SpaceX, everything to do with all of that. But also because I know that we have a lot of really awesome, really intelligent people who are on our channel who watch us. And so, you know, this might be a game that you get into, or you get into with, you know, one of your children or something like that. I think that it's...
Now, is this a shoot 'em up game where you blow things up and...
Things can blow up, but
that's not the point.
It's usually not intentional.
This is about creating.
Yeah, so basically this is a rocketry simulator. So when people say, oh, I mean, hey, it's not rocket science. In this case, it is. So let's dive right into it. So I've just started a game here. You start off with your whole SpaceX. I'm in the sandbox mode because I'm in easy mode. So everything has been fully built.
Okay.
Like if you start off...
So it's like a little mini Cape Canaveral?
Yeah, so you have to build up each of these things. Everything is completely made to the max. Everything's perfect. Right?
So if I just feel like getting started, I can go into this mode?
Right, there's absolutely no limitations on money or resources or anything like that. You can just begin building your wildest dreams.
So it's like your Elon?
No, I mean Elon has a lot more restrictions. So
really?
I just clicked on the vehicle assembly building. So this is sort of where you build a rocket. And right now I have a rocket that I built. It's called Hopefully This Works. But I'm actually going to get rid of it. I've saved this one, so I'm going to build a new rocket.
Okay, we're starting from scratch.
So for those of you who've never played this game before, let's just sort of dive right into it and build ourselves our first rocket.
All right.
So a lot of people want to get really crazy and technical with their first rocket. I think you should start off as simple as possible.
Okay.
So you choose your command module first. You build off the rest of the rocket from the command module. So it has to be either a manned command pod, or cockpit or something like that, or it's one of these. These are sort of like robotically, I don't know, what do you call it, like a drone control module, which means that it has to be communicating with your base.
Okay.
Using you know, all sorts of antennas and stuff that we're going to get into later.
So what do you suggest we start with?
I'm going to do the Mark 1 command pod.
Why is that?
You can right click and see some of the info on this. So you need one crew member to operate. You can do like all sorts of different stuff. It shows you how much electric charge and monopropellant and stuff. We're going to get into all of this in greater detail as we go, but I'm just going to start with that. Okay. So it pops up right here.
Okay.
So if you use the scroll wheel, you scroll up and down. If you hold down Shift and use the scroll wheel, you zoom in and out. So I'm going to zoom in and then scroll down so we can see our command module.
And how are you going left and right?
Oh, good point. Right mouse button lets you zoom around. And then and also if you want to zoom in and out, a different way, you can hold down the middle mouse button.
So just play around for a while until you get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is neat. So all those guys work for us.
Yeah, so you can see all the people sort of driving around, building things, or you know. And by the way, the reason it's called Kerbal Space Program is because all of these little green dudes are called Kerbals. So instead of it being a human-based thing, you have these little guys with bulgy eyes. It makes you feel a little bit better if you accidentally blow up their spaceship.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because it'll happen.
Animations. Okay.
So right now this is a command module. There's going to be a guy inside there.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to bring it all the way down to the ground.
All right.
I'm going to sit it right on the ground.
How'd you grab that?
You just click and drag.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can click it and drag it all around.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to launch this guy, even though there's no rockets at all on it. So I'm going to click this launch button up in the top right.
Okay.
Launch. Here we go.
So you're in space. That's why it's black, huh?
No, it's just loading. All right, so here it is.
All right.
It's on the launch pad.
That's pretty tiny.
Yeah. And it can't do anything because it's just a command module. So, but we can. So we have our guy down here.
We have an astronaut in there.
So his name is Jebediah Kerman. He's the best pilot.
Awesome.
You can have, and we can sort of view what he sees. So we're in the spacecraft. You can right click. He has one window.
Oh, he has one little window.
You can see the sky. He's laying on his back right now, so space is directly up.
Gotcha.
And then there's this ball right here, which is, well, those bad textures. And
he's not going
this
very
is what
fast.
this is what the inside looks like. You don't generally play on the inside.
Okay.
And then to get out of this view, I believe you hit the C button.
C button.
I've gotten trapped in there before. It's kind of scary. So there's nothing really we can do. There is one thing we can do. We can right-click on the command pod. We can see some stuff. Don't worry about most of this.
We can rename the vessel.
Yeah, so you could call it whatever you wanted.
Nice.
And then right below view, you know how over here we clicked view, you can do EVA, which means extra vehicular activity.
Okay.
So he gets out.
And
then we can control him. So he can kind of run around. So this is not even a rocket, even close. He can climb back in. And you can see here all of the different things he can do. So he can press F to climb out, space to let go, and B to board. So I'll hit B and he climbs back in.
Okay.
All right, so then we can recover the vessel since it didn't go that far. And we'll go back to the vehicle assembly building. So it says, oh, we did a mission. Nothing really happened. We can go back to the vehicle assembly building.
And so we got 0 reputation. If we had launched, would we have gotten some reputation?
Because we're in creative mode or sandbox mode, we don't get anything. But that's because you have everything.
Gotcha.
You have everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this into a rocket. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a parachute on this because we don't want our guy to die when he runs out of fuel. So I'm going to click Utility. And so all of these tabs are different types of things.
Nice.
So we have everything from pods to fuel tanks, engines, command and control, structural, coupling, payload, aerodynamics, ground, thermal, electrical, communication, science, utility. It's all
No wonder you played this for hours.
Yeah. It's super overwhelming at first, but trust me, it gets pretty interesting once you get good. So we're going to the parachute. So we go to Utility, and then there are a couple different parachutes here. There's also a launch escape system. So there's all kinds of different stuff. I'm going to get the parachute. I'm going to pop it right on top. So we got the MK16 parachute.
I hear it's a good one.
So it sticks right on top.
All right.
And it has a little description too, so you can read it. They're really funny. It's just everything here is supposed to be kind of funny and cute. Keep it all lighthearted.
Do you think Elon plays this?
I think, okay, so if you've gotten this far and you're like, what? Listen, before I played this game, I didn't really understand how rockets worked and why they worked and everything.
Really?
After you play this game, you will understand orbital mechanics on a fundamental level.
Really?
Yeah. It's wild. I mean, you don't need to learn any math. You don't need to learn hardly anything other than just a few basic concepts.
Wow.
And you really, truly understand so much of orbital mechanics and physics and stuff like that.
Wow.
I cannot
you hear that, kids?
recommend it enough. All right, so we have a parachute on this, so if we were to drop it from a height, we could pop the parachute. So now that we have something that can slow it from going down, we have to make something to make it go up.
Good.
So
we need that decoupler? Is that what we need?
Yeah, so I'm going to put a decoupler on it just so I can let go of everything below this. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit.
That allows you to decouple from
Decouple meaning, so you can let go of things. So now I'm going to go to engines, and I'm going to get this one, the RT10 Hammer solid fuel booster. So it's a solid rocket, which means that you have, you just light it, just like a model rocket.
Okay. You don't have to fill it with propellant.
Yep. All right, so this is it.
That's our rocket.
That's our rocket. Now, if we look in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see these three icons here.
Okay.
So there is the rocket, and if you hover over them, it shows you each one. So there's the rocket engine, the decoupler, and the parachute. And they're going in sort of this order here. Whatever's on the bottom is going to happen first.
Okay.
Then the second one and the last one, which is good. So right now, when we get out on the launch pad, I'm going to hit space, which triggers a new. I believe these are called stages. So it'll trigger a new stage, which will light the rocket engine. Then once this runs out of fuel, we will hit space again and go to hit the decoupler, which will let go of the rocket engine, and then we can hit the parachute to parachute down to zero.
Now, is this as if we were the astronaut controlling the rocket?
Yes, either you controlling it or ground control, or
Gotcha.
anything. So we're all set to go. Let's just name this real quick. We'll do first, just like someone in the comments probably already has done, and launch.
I'm very excited.
All right.
Can we talk like we're in mission control?
It's sometimes it's kind of confusing to listen to that, so we're not going to do that.
No.
So you can see the rocket's just literally sitting on the pad.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that mission control and all the vehicle assembly building is over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to hit the space bar.
All right. Holy crap.
And
Here we go.
we're launching. So you can look all around just like you would in the VAB. And
VAB?
right now we're going straight up. VAB is the vehicle assembly building. We're leaving very quickly. You can see some of the aerodynamic effects because we're going really, really fast.
Where's our speed? Oh, there it is.
So this is in meters per second.
Oh, so we're at a kilometer a second. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting hot.
Yeah. So you can look. Yeah.
Oh, we're out of fuel now?
So we're out of fuel, so I'm going to let go of the booster.
Okay. Bye, booster.
And now we're just the pod, and we're shooting up into space. And so now...
What is momentum?
Yes. So shooting up into space, we can see way down there where we launched from, and you can see that we're slowly slowing down. And
But are we in low Earth orbit?
so right now we are almost out of the atmosphere. You can see this is the
that's
atmosphere
cool.
gauge. So yes, let's talk about this. So there's the vertical speed, which
Okay.
is your speed either going up or down.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter side to side. This is your altitude, so in meters right now. So we're 60,000 meters. So 64 kilometers, 65, 66 above the planet. And this now I'm going to go to the map. So I'm going to hit the M button.
Okay.
So now you can see the planet that we just launched from, called Kerbal.
Oh, that's not Earth?
It's not Earth. It's a different planet entirely called Kerbal. And I'm just going to zoom out real quick while we're still ascending. So there's the moon. And then there's another moon called Minimus, which also orbits Kerbal. And we zoom out some more. You can see that there are some unknown objects out here. Those are asteroids.
Can we explore them later?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there is a lot to do.
So is this like the Earth because we're in the third planet from the sun?
Yes. So there is a planet called Eve, which is a lot like Venus, but you can actually land on it. There's a planet called Moho, which is a lot like Mercury.
I didn't know that the planets are copyrighted. That's interesting. They're trademarked?
No, this is a different solar system.
Oh, okay.
So there's a planet called Duna, which is a lot like Mars. Zooming out more, there's one called Dres, which is new to me. There's one called Jewel, which is a gas giant, which has some moons on it. But I'm going to zoom back in before we crash into the planet. Because that's important.
Let's take care of our little...
So, as you can see, there's this little loop here, right?
Oh, is that our trajectory?
Up and down, yes. So this has been our trajectory. So we took off, and now we're going up. And if you see here, it says Kerbal Apoapsis, which is...
Is that Greek?
It basically means it's the highest point you're going to get from the planet.
Gotcha. 121 kilometers.
Right, 121.431 kilometers. And then a T minus...
Oh, we're going to reach that in 20 seconds?
We're going to reach that in 20 seconds. And then what's going to happen is we're going to fall back down towards the planet.
Uh-oh.
So
we didn't make it out of Earth's orbit?
No, because we only went up. So that's kind of a problem.
Oh,
is if
we
you
went straight
if you
up.
go straight up, you'll come back down. Now it doesn't look like we went completely straight up. If
I'm
you
sorry,
look
can
at
you
this.
explain that? Wait, so going straight up, if we had gone a little further straight up, though, wouldn't that have been good? No?
No. So I'm going to get into this in a second.
Okay.
So first of all, we went straight up, if you remember. Like, we were going straight up.
Right.
But what happened was the planet is spinning beneath us.
Right.
So when we launched going what we thought was straight up, the planet was spinning beneath us. So we actually went woo, and then we come back down.
Through us.
Right. And that is this trajectory that you see. That's why it's not a straight line going up and down.
Ah.
By the way, this green line, this really bright green line, is the communications.
Oh, okay.
So if you were wondering what on earth that was, that's what that is. And so you can see now that we're headed back down towards the planet. So if I go back you can see that we're going back down. Now, you have some controls.
So this movement that's going on here, is this with little rockets?
So this is based off of a real scientific thing called reaction wheels, which is basically a gyroscope that you spin up really fast, and then you can move it, and then that sort of imparts a force and allows you to spin yourself in free space without expending any rocket fuel or anything like that. It's very exaggerated in this game. Like, it's extremely exaggerated. You can roll around using that once we land, which is extremely exaggerated. Now,
he's gonna get sick.
I'm gonna make him sick. So I'm gonna hit the T button, and you'll notice that now we're very steady. So what I've done is I've enabled what's called SAS, or Stability Assistance System.
I like it.
And that allows me to
Captain, you're coming back down to our planet.
So right now, if we look at our vertical speed, we can see that we're going about 1,000 meters per second straight down. And there's something that I forgot to add to the rocket, which is a thermal
we're gonna
protection.
Heat up?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So right now we're not quite in the atmosphere yet, right?
We haven't heated up yet.
Right. I just turned off SAS, and you'll see that we're kind of slow. Oh, there's the atmosphere.
We're heating up.
Yeah, so we're starting to land here.
We can't use our parachute either.
No, not yet. But I think we might be okay. This is a very strong.
Can you tell the temperature?
Actually, you know what? We weren't going that fast.
Oh.
So it didn't heat up that much, which is good. And this game is a little bit easy. Like, it makes things a little bit easier for you.
Why are we slowing down?
So that's a good point. We used to be going about 1,000 meters per second, and now we've slowed down, even though we haven't dropped our parachute. And that's because the atmosphere is literally slowing us down.
Oh, it's like soup.
It's like if you fell into soup or water.
Gotcha. Only 6 kilometers to go. I think we should we blow our parachute?
So the parachute is actually automatic.
Oh, good.
You can control the altitude at which it deploys and the minimum pressure that it requires.
So you just set it for half a
Yep.
kilometer?
And I'm going to hit the spacebar again, and there goes our chute. So now it's in drogue mode right now. It's kind of like slowing us down. Well, it's automatic once you enable it. So you could enable it at a much higher height.
I see.
And we're coming down a little fast. Altitude.
How come it didn't open?
I adjusted the altitude to the wrong thing because you see we're up on a hill. We're up a lot higher, so we kind of smashed into the surface. So that's okay. That's going to happen. You hit here's what you do.
Died.
What you do is you hit the escape button, and it tells you all the things that happened. So the liftoff, separation confirmed. And then the rocket
was killed,
and then he died. But it's okay because we can go back in time and go back to the beginning. So
we can go back in time.
Yeah. So if you click the revert to vehicle assembly building, we can go back to the rocket itself and build a new rocket. You can also go just to the beginning of the launch.
This is great. Elon did not have this.
No. So anytime a rocket explodes, for Elon, he has to sort of deal with the consequences. And there are modes in this game that will allow you to have to deal with it. But we're going to go back to the vehicle assembly building and make a more complicated rocket.
Wow.
Because this one was pretty simple. It got us out into the atmosphere, which is pretty fun.
I'm pretty excited.
But we didn't get into orbit, so I want to talk about that.
Okay.
I'm just first going to make ourselves a bigger, better rocket, right? Actually, you know what? I'm going to open our other one, which I made. And the game already has a bunch that are loaded for you, so like if you were like...
Should we use one that's already there, just so they can...
Well, I'm going to load mine because I thought that it was pretty good.
Okay.
And we'll see how well it does.
All right. And now all these costs here are free if you're in sandbox mode?
Yeah.
There's some cool looking rockets.
Right. I mean, there's orbiters and landers and all sorts of fun things.
So do you advise people to just try a few? Like open up ones that have been made and see how they work?
Yeah, I mean, I can't find mine, so I'm just going to say we'll do Kerbal 1.
Okay.
We'll load it up.
Wow, this has 33 parts.
So, yeah. So here's how this one works. So I'm just going to sort of rip it apart so we can see how it works. So first of all, let's start at the very top. Right? We have this. If I take everything off, this is very similar.
Yeah.
This is kind of the base of most of your single occupant rockets or so. You have the decoupler. Then you have, in this case, kind kind of this little section here till the next decoupler. I'm going to take off that decoupler, and you'll notice that this is a little rocket.
Oh yeah.
Right? Hidden inside of a bigger rocket is this little rocket. So
as a second stage?
Yeah, so there are a couple funky parts about this. First of all, this is a fuel tank, this is another fuel tank, this is a monopropellant fuel tank, and there's a little engine down here, right?
Yes, I feel a little overwhelmed, but I'm okay with
so I'm just gonna explain what these things are. So these are RCS thrusters. These are called reaction control thrusters. Basically, they go and they allow you to move around in space or spin around or do whatever you want to do.
Nice.
Then you have batteries here.
Ooh, batteries.
Little AA batteries, which are rechargeable, and solar panels. So you can can charge up your batteries using the solar panels if you want.
Cool.
And
do batteries like being cold up in space?
This is, don't worry about it.
Okay.
This is
not gonna worry about
it's rocket science, but we're not getting into battery chemistry.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, if we come and look at the rest of the rocket, you'll notice that this rocket booster was what we were sitting on before.
Oh, right.
This is the solid rocket booster. We just put a little
cap
funky cap on
And
it.
what's the cap called? It's called a...
This is a nose cone.
Nose cone.
Yeah. And then we have these little wings.
So this is almost like the Falcon Heavy, in a way.
It's like a little mini Falcon Heavy.
Gotcha.
It's a Falcon Light. When you're building a rocket, sometimes you're going to want more than one component, right?
Yep.
Now, you could either go in and let's say I want to put some fins on this rocket to make it look sick, right? I can either go in with this fin and then like put one in and then go and get another one and then try and make it like exactly right-ish. Actually, it wouldn't even be. It'd be like, oh, where am I going to put it? You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's a pain. And, you know, it would make for an unbalanced rocket if you did it by eye because we're not perfect, we're only human. So what you can do down here is you can choose different symmetry modes. So you can have opposite sides, and you can also have it toggle snap. So you can have it snap to different angles,
perfect.
right? So it snaps to these angles.
I like that.
And you can have it be three of them,
Oh,
or
neat. That's a time saver.
4, right? And so if you want to, or 6,
Neat.
or 8.
Yes.
You know, so if you want it to look really cool.
I do.
So anytime you want to do things like that, this is how you do it. Now you can alter these two things. You can do the symmetry by clicking the X button on your keyboard and the snap with the C button. So you can change both of those with those two keys. So that way,
X and C.
right, so that way you can toggle through it really quickly. And if you get really good at building rockets like me, then you can do that.
I have a quick question for you.
yeah.
If people want to build a rocket and share it with you or share it with their friends, is there a way to do that?
That's a good question.
I stumped him.
I honestly, I started playing this game when all you had were like 3 different rockets.
Don't just go back to the I did this for so long.
So, I mean,
you don't know.
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I'll learn.
So
and
in
we'll
the
find
comments
out.
below, if you figure out how to do it,
Right.
Because I think that'd be fun to be able to
I know
share
that there
your
are going to be
rockets
some
with your friends.
rocketry experts on here. Okay, so this is a pretty good rocket. So I'm going to pop on a stability enhancer, which is basically just like a tower that holds onto your rocket.
Oh, so when it's on the launch pad?
Yeah, and you have to stage that because otherwise you could do a accidental static fire test.
Okay, slow down there, buddy. You have to stage it.
So remember the staging that we talked about?
Yep.
So this is a bit more complicated staging.
Right.
So I'm just going to quickly fix it. Right. I'm going to
Putting it
drag
at the bottom.
down these two. Yeah. So these towers are going to let go of our rocket as soon as the other rocket engines engage.
Oh.
So
otherwise it would just keep holding it.
Yeah. So we have our solid rocket boosters here, and then we have a liquid rocket in the middle. So liquid rocket's cool because it allows you to adjust the thrust, and it allows you to shut off and turn on the rocket whenever you want, which is pretty useful if you want to have good control over your rocket.
Gotcha.
These solid boosters are just to give us some oomph, right?
Yeah. So you have it set now that what's going to happen first?
So the staging that's going to happen is these 2 towers are going to let go.
Okay.
These, the center rocket and the 2 outer solid boosters are going to
All fire
ignite.
simultaneously?
Yep, and start lifting off. Then after the boosters run out of fuel, we can let go of them. Now this is important because, I mean, let's say for instance that you are on a boat or something,
Okay.
or you are on a big sled, right?
Okay.
And you're all sort of pushing. As soon as one guy stops pushing, he is not helping, right? And he's just slowing everyone down.
We need to throw him off
so
the
you
sled.
just throw him off the sled,
Gotcha.
and then everyone else can keep pushing, and now the sled's lighter.
Right.
It's basically the same thing except with rockets.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that was a good analogy. I think the
No, it's
rockets
pretty good.
themselves are a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
So then once this runs out of fuel, we let go of that one, and then there's a little fairing here which wraps around this rocket engine here. And then this little rocket is going to be sort of what we, jump around in space with. And then there's another decoupler here and a parachute.
Perfect.
So
Now, did
all
you
of
remember
those-
the heat pad?
That's a good point. So
I've been
it
watching.
has one that's a little bit built in, but let's
Just be careful.
throw
here,
one on
yeah.
there for safety.
So that's under the heat shields.
Yeah.
Is this a good one?
Yeah.
the best one
There's
money can
really
buy.
only, there's only a couple.
Okay.
Like there's a gigantic one that turns
Look
into
at
a
that.
big. It's inflatable. That one's really
That's
cool.
cool.
And then we have like radiators and giant heat shields.
So there's a lot of different heat shields.
But they're all different. It's not like you can get like a cheap one.
Oh,
a
I
nice
see,
one.
I see, I got you.
They're just different sizes.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this rocket.
Me too.
And we're gonna go launch it. Now, before I'm gonna start the launch procedure here,
Good.
but before I ignite the rocket, I want to talk a little bit about orbital mechanics.
All right.
So I'm going to pop into the map mode right here, and you can see that our capsule is sitting on the launch pad. Now, if we go, I'm going to look parallel to the planet, to the
Okay.
plane. I'm going to look perpendicular to the plane of the planet.
Okay.
That's a tongue twister. So if we go straight up, we do, and then we go, right?
Well, but I thought if you got far enough away,
If you got far enough away, yes, maybe. But
the planet's pulling you back.
right, and we'd have to go a really far way before we
really?
get pulled in, because the moon is still getting influenced
Oh,
by Kerbin's gravity.
Because we need to get some
And last
speed.
time we went about this far away.
Right.
And we'd need to go a lot further if we wanted to escape the gravity
Okay.
of Kerbin. What we are going to do this time is we're going to take off, and instead of going up, we're going to go like this. And we're going to go sideways. Because then we're still falling towards the planet, right? Because we're going to go up, and then the planet's going to say, hey, come back here. But we're going to be going this way so fast that as we fall down, we're
miss the
moving this
planet.
way, and we're going all the way around. And then that's called an orbit. So that's what we're going to try and do.
Okay. The closer you are to the planet, the more energy we need to expend to keep going forward. Is that true or no?
I'm not sure what you're saying.
So, I mean, the closer we are to the planet's surface, the lower the orbit, the more energy we have to put in to keep going around.
No, the higher the orbit, the higher further away from the planet we go, the more energy we have to expend.
Interesting.
So, I mean, if you got a really tight, close orbit, the only problem is with the atmosphere. So, I mean,
Would
if
slow
there
you
were
down.
no atmosphere, like if you take off from the moon, for example, you can, if you just avoid all the little hills and valleys, you can orbit at like 10 feet if you so
Oh,
desired. Obviously, 10 feet from the tallest point, but yeah, you can just whip around it. But with a planet like Kerbin, or the Earth, you have a thick, dense atmosphere, which means that as soon as you enter it, you're going to start slowing down. And there's pretty much no amount of rockets and rocket fuel that are going to
It'll
allow
keep
you
you
to
going.
orbit within the atmosphere, which is
Gotcha.
why we have to escape.
Gotcha.
All right, so I'm going to come back to the launch pad. Now, controls for this game. Shift and control adjust the throttle down here.
Oh.
The throttle is basically any rockets that are enabled are going to be listening to whatever this throttle is, except for solid rocket boosters, which are always doing 100%.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to give it about 50% throttle for the main center booster, center.
And you know this
rocket.
from just experience?
Yeah, I've played this game enough. So,
Okay.
and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to.
And I'm sorry, you did that with your control?
I did this with shift. So
Shift.
shift goes up, control goes down.
Gotcha.
And if you, by the way, if you want to shut off your rockets really quickly, you hit X and it drops the throttle down to 0.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it at about half.
Okay.
And now I'm going to hit the space bar.
Good.
And ooh, didn't give enough throttle there to really get a good start. So
How do you know that?
Because we sort of floated there for a second.
Oh.
All right, so we're going up, And basically we're just increasing speed and those...
And why wouldn't you always give it 100% throttle? Just you don't want to burn your...
Yeah, you don't want to waste all of your fuel the second you...
Where is your... Oh, is your fuel gauge over there?
Your fuel gauges are over here, so the solid fuel is burning out faster than our liquid fuel, which is good because we have to let go of those at some point. So we're going up pretty steadily. I'm going to turn on stability control. And stability control will also control our sort of ailerons here. So these are actually huge wings that rotate and allow us to, while in atmosphere, control a lot better.
But once we get to space, they're useless.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so our solid rockets boosters...
dump them.
Dump them because we're losing speed. I let go, and we start to speed up. No, I need to increase throttle. But it's okay because we're still going up. Our speed may not be, we may not be accelerating, but we are going up, which is important.
I'm worried that we're not going to make it.
So now I'm actually going to turn sideways.
Oh, how'd you do that?
So using the WSAD keys, you can control which way you kind of go. So I'm kind of trying to like level us out a little bit. Now let's talk about this ball down here because it's probably the most important thing of the entire game. Oh, ran out of fuel. Let go, and
How'd you let go of that again?
Space button, which enabled the decoupler.
Okay.
So this little ball tells you which way you're pointing in relation to whatever planet you're orbiting with high degree of accuracy. So you see how there's sort of the blue and the brown here?
Yep.
The brown is the ground,
Okay.
and the blue is the sky.
Okay.
Then this little V here with the dot, that is the direction that we're pointing,
Okay.
right? And then I can rotate, right? So now we're kind of flying like you'd see an airplane flying.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that might
Makes
look a little bit
sense
more
to me.
familiar.
Yeah, I feel better now.
And so right now we're just trying to move laterally across the planet. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So now our orbit has changed a bit. And I don't think we're actually going to get to orbit.
Yeah, it shows that we're going to crash into the ocean, doesn't it?
It does, but it's constantly changing. You'll notice that the apoapsis says T-minus 3 seconds, but it's about to go to 4 seconds.
Oh, because we're still going up.
Further, right.
I see.
So we still need to keep going up. We're not out of the atmosphere, which is
getting a lot of...
not good. I went lateral a little bit too early, and this is...
That's how you learn, folks.
It's tough.
You want to be an astronaut.
Rocket science. Literally rocket science. So I just started pointing upwards. And the reason to do that is to gain more altitude. And so now there's a couple different things that you'll notice in here. There's this sort of little... I kind of like to think of it as the back of a plane. We're looking at the back of a plane.
Okay.
You can see the little tail and the rudder. And that's the direction that we're going. So if we were to look directly the way that we are pointing, the way that we're actually going is this way, right? We're flying in this direction.
Okay.
So even though we're pointing this way, you'll notice that we're mostly just traveling sideways.
Oh, okay.
So this is the way that you're actually going, and it actually has a name. It's called prograde. Now, if we go back to the map, you'll see that the apoapsis is very far away. So I just cut the throttle.
Oh.
The reason I cut the throttle, yes, is to be most efficient. I want to burn. It's called burn when you burn the rocket fuel. I want to burn prograde at the apoapsis.
All right, let's slow down just a little bit. I know what apoapsis is. That's the top
It's
of
the
our
top of the thing, and I want to burn prograde, which means that I want to face the direction that we're going.
Okay.
And to best illustrate that, I'm going to do something called a plan. So I'm going to make a little plan here. I'm going to add a maneuver.
Ooh.
So I clicked somewhere along the path. Let me just show that again. So you see how there's that little orb, the little dot?
Yep.
I'm going to click on the apoapsis and click Add Maneuver.
Okay.
Now this little weird thing shows up. So there's a couple different ways that we can go. So there is, let's just talk through each of them.
Yeah.
Obviously there's the prograde, which we've been talking about.
Obviously. Come on, people, you remember that one.
There's retrograde, which means back the way you're going.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then there is normal, which means normal to the plane that you're flying, which means 90 degrees. So up, or north in this case.
Okay.
And then there's anti-normal, which is the opposite of normal, obviously.
And are these all real terms?
These are all real terms.
Like, so if I was in an astronaut cafeteria and I was
pretty
like,
sure
hey, how was your anti-normal today? He would know what I'm talking about.
He would say that you're probably an idiot, because that's wrong.
Okay.
Then radial out and radial in, which is you know, kind of what it looks like here.
I like how the symbols are just kind of the opposite of each other. They're color coded.
Yeah, the color coding helps. So now what we can do is plan our thing. So you can see that there's sort of a dotted line along the blue. I'm going to drag out the prograde.
Oh, you can do
dragging it out, and you'll notice that I'm making a bigger circle.
This is great. This is very helpful.
And then you'll notice that the sort of the yellow. Now the periapsis is over here and the apoapsis is over there.
What's the periapsis?
The periapsis is the opposite of the apoapsis, so if you can think about it, it's the closest point to the planet in your orbit.
Interesting, okay.
So we just moved it over there. All right,
this is looking good. I mean, that looks like you just made, if we do that maneuver, it looks like we're going to be in orbit.
Right, so that's the plan. And then it tells us a bunch of things. So it tells us 551.1 meters per second.
Okay.
That is the difference in the speed that we're going currently versus what we're going to have to do.
So we're going to have to go faster or slower?
We're going to have to go faster by about
half a
kilometer a second.
Okay.
It shows us the estimated burn, 27 seconds.
Okay.
That is at full throttle, how long you have to burn
Basically
for.
to slow us down.
Yep. And then the node in T minus 1 minute 45 seconds. That's how long it takes before we get to the point where we're going to have to do that maneuver.
Gotcha. So this is making sense. So if I was in mission control right now, I'd be like,
okay, Jebediah, in 1 minute 34 seconds, you'll
Right.
go start your burn.
Now, the problem right now is that I'm not pointing in the right direction.
uh-oh.
So I need to orient myself to point prograde.
Okay.
And you can see this with this little blue arrow down here, because since I've added this maneuver, it's actually helping me. It's telling me which way to point. So, and it's somewhere that the ball can't show me, so it shows this arrow. So I'm going to hit the W key, which is going to start to point us down. And again, we're using our reaction wheels, which is pretty
kind of the fake way of doing it.
kind of the fake way of doing it. Now, if you notice, there's the prograde, and then there's this blue thing.
Okay.
The blue thing is our maneuver, the direction I have to be facing to do our maneuver.
Okay.
But you'll notice that it's not directly over the prograde,
No.
which is weird, because if I were in the prograde, I wouldn't be facing the maneuver, and if I did the maneuver, I wouldn't be facing the prograde. That's because when I get to this point, the prograde and the maneuver are going to be in the exact same location. But because I'm going around in a circle, I have to point kind of down, because then when I get around, you see, I'm pointing in the right direction.
Oh, it'll get closer and closer and closer as we approach apogee?
Yes.
Or
Apoapsis. I think apogee is another allowable term.
Okay.
All right, so we can see that the node is in T minus 15 seconds.
Now, do we have to do it manually?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm
Gotta
going
pay
to be...
attention.
Yeah. Now, we do not have enough liquid fuel to make this.
Crap.
Which is unfortunate. So I'm going to just do the best I can.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, and burn.
Burn, baby, burn.
And you'll notice that this is decreasing.
Yes, we're slowing down. Which is good.
We're speeding up.
I'm sorry, we're speeding up.
So we only had about
Oh.
100 meters per second in the tank, which is unfortunate.
Darn it.
Yeah.
What did that do? Can we see what that did?
So we can see that it widened our...
But it still looks like...
we're still going to hit the planet,
Oh,
unfortunately.
no.
So...
But hey, it's only our second mission.
It's only our second mission, and we're already doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, you can see that these are solar panels here, so you can actually right-click on basically any part of your ship and see stuff about it.
Oh, that's cool.
You can see the status of everything. So, like, status of the rocket, flame out. Now, we have a little trick up our sleeve, which is that we have these reaction control thrusters.
Oh, can they work?
I'm going to enable them right now
Okay.
by hitting the R button. And now I'm going to try and make us go forward if I remember. Oh, I turned on the light. That's actually kind of nice. See the light?
Oh, yeah.
Turn it on and off.
I like it.
All right, I'm going to turn that on, and I'm going to try and remember. There we go.
They're firing. I see them
you can see
firing.
them fire, and I want to actually go in a certain direction. H, there we go. You can see that this is sort of working like a rocket engine, and it's actually
It's speeding up.
speeding us up. Now, is it going to be enough? That's a good question.
Yeah, how
you
much
can
did
see
that-
our monopropellant fuel. Now, I didn't fill it up all the way when we started.
Why didn't you?
I just didn't think of it. Now, are we going to have enough? I
This
don't
is kind of like one of those movies, you know?
Yeah, it's like
like Gravity or
right.
something, where they say, well, we could try the
We can try the
monopropellant.
monopropellant. Now, it might get us into a orbit-ish. Not really. I don't think it's going to work.
Hey, it's worth trying.
But it's worth trying.
This is what George Clooney would do.
Exactly. Yeah, once we get into orbit, we can start doing some pretty cool stuff.
I think we should wrap it up here. Let people try out some stuff.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then-
if you're interested, you can install the game. You can go on Steam. It's on Steam. I don't know. It's like $20. Totally worth it. It's basically worth like whatever you would pay a college for like a Orbital Mechanics.
That's
class.
what it sounds like. And,
Yeah.
and also, it sounds a lot better than just a book on it.
Yeah, it's super. I mean, you're gonna fail. I'll be honest. You're gonna fail a lot when you first begin.
That's how you learn.
But we have lots more to cover. Like, there's all those things that you saw in the vehicle assembly building. There's also space planes and rovers.
What?
And there's mods. I mean, there is a huge amount of stuff that we can learn about.
Can I ask you just a quick question?
Yeah.
Can you simulate the Falcon 9 where like it lands back on Earth?
Yes.
Are you kidding? Well,
you
that-
can do everything
All right.
you can do with
People,
real space travel. It's amazing.
get on
I
this.
completely recommend you get it. If you don't want to get it, we're going to be doing another episode of this show, so you can check it out.
I think they should get it though. I mean, the whole point of this is to learn alongside.
Hey, it's okay. You know, if you're not sold, like if you're I
see.
don't know if
you're
I'm
saying kick the tires a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do more of this.
I don't know. I'm already sold.
I really hope that you enjoy this because
I did.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite games.
It seems like it's endless learning.
It's endless learning and endless fun for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I mean, you'll be able to speak Elon speak.
Yeah. Oh, we're so.
Oh
close
my
to
gosh! I think
orbit.
this is like the movie. We could make it.
Yeah, we might
Do you
be.
think? Comment below if you think we're gonna make it.
Yeah. Let's see. Would you keep hitting the H button?
Sure. I'm your
Autopilot.
autopilot.
All right. Good luck. I'm gonna put
Wait,
you
Captain,
in the helm.
Captain, where are you going?
I have to go to the bathroom. All right, good luck. If you start to run into the atmosphere, hit the space button to decouple from the rocket engines.
All right.
And then make sure that you turn on.
I'm almost out of monopropellants. I'm down to
good
8.
Luck.
We're down to 7.
Make sure you turn on the parachute.
I'll try to remember how to do that. So our captain just left us. This is how you do it. You try and you learn. We're down to 2, and we are out of monopropellant. I'm not going to let go of H. I mean, George Clooney wouldn't let go of H. He would just keep trying. All right, so Jesse said to get rid of that. We don't need it. 248,000 meters. So it looks like we do orbit the planet. So that's pretty cool. Maybe Jesse would be proud of us for that. I don't know what this is telling us. Uh-oh. You know what? I feel like we're hitting the atmosphere right now. That's not going to be good. This seems like it's going to end badly. I mean, our altitude is dropping. This looks like we're heating up like crazy. Jebediah, I know, you look scared down there. I know, you're a good pilot. From here, it's nice and relaxed, but from here, it's pretty scary. And last time, we launched our parachute way too late. Wow, we're dropping fast. We're down to 9 kilometers. I wish the captain were here. I hear the captain coming. We're down to 7 kilometers. I think we gotta do our shoot, Captain. We're at 6 kilometers.
All right, how are you doing,
We're
Commander
dropping.
Zach?
We're dropping fast. 5 kilometers. How do I hit?
Shoot time. Yeah.
Shoot. Spacebar.
Yep. Okay, cool. So it's enabled.
Okay, now how do we? Quick! We gotta.
Right there. Oh, I'm just trying to save it. Hang on. Because again, we're landing in the mountains. Oh.
Quick, sir! Let's shoot.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Please.
Oh. Mountains again. Well, what are you gonna do? Oh well.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Now You Know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to come back again and do some more of this with everybody.
Yep.
So yeah, please let us know in the comments below if you liked it. Hit the like button if you liked it. If this is the first time you found our channel, please subscribe. We do lots of cool stuff. We do stuff with Teslas. We do stuff with electric vehicles and sustainability and all sorts of fun things. There's a cooking show on Fridays,
Yep.
so check those out.
And for those of you who are like, whoa, you guys do Tesla stuff. You guys are not Let's Players. Hey, we're not Let's Players. This is just like, this is a fun thing that we're gonna do every once in a while. And if you don't want to watch it, please go right ahead. Don't watch it. I mean, it's no skin off our nose.
So you're saying don't comment about it?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like
We get it, is what we're saying.
We get it. Yeah. I really hope that like if you you know, have children at home who are into SpaceX. I mean, let's face it, Elon Musk just sent a rocket with a car on top of it into space, which is pretty much the coolest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, and Jesse did bring up a really good point. I mean, he learned more about space from this than practically anything, and he knows so much about space, and it's largely because he got into it through this program.
Right. It's a lot of trial by error, and it's a lot of like...
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. So I would absolutely recommend it. We're going to definitely be doing some more videos on this, so thank you so much for watching.
Now you know.